Hello BookTube, Sarah here, and welcome to my channel. Today I'm coming to you with my Harlequin anticipated reads for August of 2019. Yay! I do love doing these videos every month. I love looking at the books that are coming. You guys know this. I think it's fantastic. So these are also, I'm using these books in a way as part of my 40 Years of Harlequin project, which we are already more than halfway through the year for. So if you are unfamiliar with what that is, I challenged myself because I turned 40 in March to read one book published each year between 1979 and 2019 or 2018. And then for 2019, because there were 12 weeks left in the year, so I read a book a week, I'm picking a book a month published in 2019 to read at the tail end of this year. So as I've asked in all of these videos so far this year, please pick me a book. From all the ones I'm going to mention, pick one of these and post your vote in the comment section below. And then in a few weeks, I will tally up all the votes and I will pick a winner. And that is the book that I will read for that month, for the month of August, later on this year. So the book that won for the month of July was The Highborn Housekeeper by Sarah Mallory. So this is a Harlequin historical novel. A lot of you voted also on the Colton 911 book, which sounded really good too. But this one did win, I think, by 1 or 2 votes. So yeah, very, very excited to get to this one. I literally just got this in the mail today. So super exciting that I am filming this and it just came in the mail today. So yeah, so I'm super excited about getting to this one. I do love a good historical. This is, I'm pretty sure it's about a woman who turns her back on the aristocracy and becomes a housekeeper just to get away from an arranged marriage. So yeah, it sounds like it's gonna be really good and I cannot wait. So let's get into the books for August. So we will start off with Harlequin Desire. And the first book is From Riches to Redemption by Andrea Lawrence. This is book number 2 in the Switched series. This is about two characters by the name of Morgan and River. And Morgan, the two of them actually eloped 10 years earlier, secretly eloped. I guess that's kind of the point of eloping, it's in secret. And then he betrayed their vows somehow, I don't know how. But it's now 10 years later and they're back together working for the same company, I think. And then she finds out that she was actually switched at birth and she is not the daughter of this very high-powered empire that she thought she was. So this one sounds really good. Andrea Lawrence I've read before. She does great work for the Desire line, and this one sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun. Next up, we have a Harlequin Heartwarming, and this is Trusting Her Heart by Tara Randall. This is book number 3 in the Meet Me at the Altar series. So this is about a woman by the name of Serena, and she owns a shop in a little small town, and she's running from her dark past, and she's trying to get on with her life, and she's running this little shop, and then this guy by the name of Logan shows up in town, and he's asking too many questions about her background, and she is very, very much afraid that he's going to ruin everything that she's built. But of course, over time, she starts falling for him. Sounds really cute. This cover is just delightful, and yeah, this one sounds like it's going to be really, really enjoyable. I just love a small town romance about a shop owner. Sounds like it'd be a lot of fun. Next, we have a Harlequin historical, and this is A Marquess, a Miss, and a Mystery by Annie Burroughs. I love the cover of this one. I just love her in her spectacles. I think it looks delightful. And this is about a woman who, after her first season, has decided that she doesn't want any part of this whole thing with the ton and what have you. She is too open-minded, she is too quick-witted, and she just knows she's not going to land a husband, so she's just content on being a spinster. But I guess her brother had been killed and she's trying to look for his killer. So she needs to join forces with a rake by the name of Lord de Vries. And the plan is for him to pretend to seduce her so she can get back into society and try and find out who her brother's killer is. It just sounds delightful. I love the historical novels. Again, this cover is what drew me in, and I cannot wait to read this one. Next is a Harlequin intrigue, and this is New Orleans Noir by Joanna Wayne. Joanna Wayne is a go-to author for the intrigues. She is fantastic. Now, I've mentioned in many previous videos that I have a couple of locations that when I hear a book is set in some of these locations, it's a must-read for me. Alaska and Australia are the two big ones. The other one is New Orleans. New Orleans is on my bucket list to also get to one day. Probably I'll have an easier chance to get to New Orleans than those other two places. But yeah, books set in New Orleans for some reason just draw me in, and this one sounds fantastic. It is about a detective by the name of Hunter, and it says he has 2 goals: to find the French kiss killer and keep Helena Cosworth from becoming his next victim. So the two of them are joining forces to try and find this serial killer. It takes place in New Orleans. It sounds dark, it sounds spooky, it sounds fantastic, and this is a definite must-read. Regardless if you guys end up picking this one, this is definitely going on my list of books to get to soon. Next, we have a Harlequin romance, and this is Whisked Away by Her Millionaire Boss by Nina Milne. And this is about a woman by the name of Sarah, she cleans buildings. That's her job. And she ends up having a chance meeting with her boss. Now, the building that she's cleaning is actually a fashion design house. And I guess she's always kind of had some fashion ideas. So she takes a chance and she mentions them to this man by the name of, is it Ben? By the name of Ben. And he really likes her ideas. So he ends up whisking her away to Milan, to another location that they, I guess, design at. And, you know, kind of takes her under his wing. And I guess the two of them kind of develop a romance from there. I think it's really cute, kind of like this, you know, Cinderella-esque type story where, you know, pauper to, you know, rich or something like that. So yeah, this one sounds kind of cute, really, really fun. He's also got a young daughter, so, you know, of course, meeting the daughter and things like that. So yeah, this one does sound like it would be a lot of fun. Next, we have a Harlequin romantic suspense, and this is First Responder on Call by Melinda DeLorenzo. This one sounded really interesting to me. You see so many stories with like Navy SEALs or firefighters or police officers, but our main character in this one is an EMT, and they are like the unsung heroes in my opinion. I love me the EMTs. They literally are the first responders. They are the first ones there. They are, anytime I've ever personally had to deal with them for anything medical, they have always been super fantastic. They know their stuff, and this really intrigued me, the fact that it was about an EMT. And he stumbles upon a injured woman. She has no memory of who she is or how she got there or how she got injured. All she knows is that her and her child are in danger. So he is trying to protect them, and the story goes from there. It sounds adorable. Again, an EMT. I love the idea of it. It was funny, quick little side note, a number of years ago I landed in a hospital, and I was having heart palpitations, and my mom was waiting with me, and we were in emergency. And we just kind of sit, you know, you're sitting there and the curtains are open, so you can kind of see what's kind of going on in the emergency room. And all we saw were the EMTs walking back and forth and stuff like that. And I remember my mom turning to me and going, they have firefighter calendars, they have police officer calendars, they totally need an EMT calendar. And I wholeheartedly agree. I would support that. There's some pretty cute looking EMTs, let me tell you. But yeah, so this one sounds like it'd be really, really delightful. And again, this is another one that, regardless if you guys pick this or not, I will definitely be picking this one up to read in the near future. Next up, we have a Harlequin special edition. And this is Rust Creek Falls Cinderella by Melissa Sennett. This is book number 2 in the Montana Mavericks 6 Brides for 6 Brothers series. So this is about a woman who runs she's the chef or the cook at this local, at a kitchen, at the Maverick Manor as it's called. And in one day walks a rancher by the name of Xander. And they are friends. He never sees her as anything more than a friend. And she would love to be more than a friend. So she gets this makeover, and now all of a sudden he's seeing her in a new light. Now that's usually not something that I really appreciate, the fact that, you know, she had to make herself look different for him to notice her. But it does say at the back of the book that, you know, she's trying, now that she's got him to notice her for more than just the makeover kind of an idea. So that point kind of drew me in, and the cover of this one is just delightful, and I think this one would be a really fun story. Next up, we have a love-inspired novel, and this is A Soldier's Prayer by Jenna Mendel. Now this one was a surprise to me because this is book number 6 in the Maple Springs series. I'm reading the Maple Springs series for my Stacking the Series challenge. And when I put that on my list, there were only 3 books published, but I guess there's been a few more published because now we're up to book number 6. So I'm totally interested in getting back into this small town of Maple Springs. So this story is about a woman who has received a cancer diagnosis. And she decides to go to her uncle's remote cabin to kind of like, excuse me, I'm losing my voice, to get into her own head and figure out what's going on and figure out how to heal and you know, how to deal with this diagnosis. And there is also her brother's best friend? Sorry, her brother's best friend, who is a Marine. And I guess he's going to try and help her heal, him and his 2 nephews. So it sounds like a really sweet story. I can tell you, Jenna Mendel does some great writing. This is a great small town. I believe it's in the north of Michigan is where this small town is, very close to the Canadian border. And yeah, it's a really delightful series. Again, these love-inspired novels are Christian fiction. Still, to me, even though that's not my personal belief system, I still find these very, very refreshing and really, really enjoyable. And this one sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun. And last but not least, we have a love-inspired suspense. Now, I will admit, not a fan of the title so much, but we will go with it. And it is The Cradle Conspiracy by Christie Bennett, or Barnett, excuse me. This is book number 5 in the Baby Protector series. So this is about a woman who's babysitting this young boy, and then while she's looking after him, someone tries to kidnap him. And then they find out that the mother, this baby's mother, has also been kidnapped. So they bring in, who is he? An FBI agent is in to kind of help out with what's going on and with this attempted kidnapping and with this actual kidnapping. So yeah, it sounds really interesting. Again, not a big fan of the title of this book, but I can learn to live with that to read the story, because it does sound like it's going to be really interesting. And yeah, I do love these love-inspired suspense novels, because as much as I adore the intrigue and the romantic suspense, the one thing is that with those you get a lot, not a lot, but you do tend to get a lot of, you know, parts of the physical relationship between the two characters. And sometimes I feel that that's put in there because they kind of need to put that in there, because it's what's expected of the intrigue and the romantic suspense novels. Whereas sometimes it kind of takes you out of the story. Like, would they really be doing this if they were like running from a killer kind of an idea? Whereas the romantic, the love-inspired books, because they do not have any adult content in them, they are focusing almost more on the emotional relationship between the characters, as well as the actual situation that they are dealing with. So that's why I enjoy reading them. And same with the love-inspired books. You're getting more of the emotional relationship outside of the whole Christian aspect of it. So yeah, if you haven't given them a chance, even if you are not of that personal belief system, some are more preachy than others. And I'm not saying that in a bad way. I'm just, you know, letting you know that some can go a little bit overboard in it. But some, and I can tell you that the Jenna Mendel ones do not. There's of course mentions in there, but not a lot. So yeah, so anyway, that is all that I have for this video, you guys. I do hope that you enjoyed it. Again, please let me know in the comments below which book I should pick for my 40 Years of Harlequin project. And yeah, until my next video, everybody, take care and happy reading. Thank you all so very much for watching. Bye, guys.